Deep in the heart of a magical forest, there was a friendly gnome named Glimmer. Glimmer was a small gnome, not taller than a big flower stem, but he was loved by all the creatures in the forest. Glimmer lived in a beautiful mushroom house that he had built himself. His wife was named Lily, and together they created a warm and welcoming home that all the animals loved to visit. The mushroom house was something special. It was tall, with a round top that was speckled with white spots. The stem of the mushroom was big and it was covered in tiny windows that let the sunlight in. Glimmer had built a front door that was shaped like a tiny arch, and he had carved intricate designs into the wood. Inside, the mushroom house was cozy and comfortable. There was a small fireplace that Glimmer had built, and a comfy armchair where Lily liked to read her books. The walls were covered in colorful tapestries, and there were shelves full of books and trinkets. Glimmer and Lily had made the house with love, and it showed. Glimmer and Lily's home was always full of visitors. The animals of the forest loved to come and chat with the gnome and his wife, and they often brought treats to share. Bambi, the young deer, was a frequent visitor. She would come and nibble on the mushrooms that grew near the house, and Glimmer would always have a fresh carrot waiting for her. Rabbit, too, was a regular guest. He would hop to the mushroom house and knock on the door with his paw. Glimmer would let him in, and Rabbit would tell him stories about his adventures in the forest. One day, a new visitor arrived at the mushroom house. It was a young owl named Luna, and she was lost. Luna had been flying through the forest when a gust of wind had blown her off course. She had flown for hours, but she couldn't find her way home. Glimmer and Lily welcomed Luna into their home, and they offered her a place to stay until she could find her way back. Glimmer knew that Luna's family would be worried about her, so he decided to help her find her way home. He gathered all animals of the forest together and asked if anyone knew where Luna lived. None of them did, but they all offered to help in any way they could. Glimmer and the animals set off into the forest, searching for any clues that might lead them to Luna's home. They searched everywhere, asking every creature they met if they had seen the young owl. Finally, they came to a clearing where an old owl sat perched on a branch. The old owl listened to Glimmer's story and nodded his head. "I know where Luna lives," he said. "She lives in the tallest tree in the forest, on the other side of the river." Glimmer and the animals thanked the old owl and set off towards the river. When they arrived, they saw that the water was too deep and fast to cross. They needed a way to get to the other side. Just then, Lily had an idea. She knew of a magical flower that grew on the riverbank. If they could find it and use its powers, they could cross the river safely. They searched and searched until they found the flower. It was a beautiful golden color, and its petals shimmered in the sunlight. Lily took a few petals and scattered them on the water. Suddenly, a path appeared on the river. Glimmer and the animals crossed the river and found Luna's tree. They called out to her, and Luna flew down to meet them. She was overjoyed to see Glimmer and thanked him for helping her find her way home. From that day on, Luna became a regular visitor to the mushroom house. She and Glimmer became great friends, and they often went on adventures in the magical forest. And whenever anyone was lost or in need, Glimmer and the animals were always there to help. Over time, Glimmer's mushroom house became a hub of activity in the forest. It was a place where everybody could come together and share stories, laughter, and good food. Glimmer and Lily loved nothing more than entertain their guests and make them feel at home. One day, a group of young rabbits came to the mushroom house with a request. They wanted to organize a big picnic in the forest, and they needed Glimmer's help. Glimmer was delighted to help and quickly got to work preparing for the event. He spent the entire day baking pies, making sandwiches, and gathering berries and nuts from the forest. Lily helped him decorate the picnic area with colorful flowers and streamers. When the day of the picnic arrived, the forest was alive with excitement. Animals from all over the forest had come to join the fun. The rabbits had set up games, and there was a giant cake in the middle of the field. Glimmer and Lily had even arranged for some of the forest's best musicians throughout the day. As the day went on, everyone had a wonderful time. They laughed, danced, and played games. And at the end of the day, as the sun began to set, they all gathered around the cake and sang happy birthday to Glimmer and Lily. It was a day that no one in the forest would ever forget. And from that day on, Glimmer's mushroom house became even more popular. It was a place where everybody could come together and celebrate the beauty of the magical forest that they all called home.